Hey guys, welcome to BudgetEDH. On this week's episode, we bring you a Yuriko the Tiger Shadow updated deck tech. Our first video that we ever made on this channel was a Yuriko the Tiger Shadow $100 deck tech, and that was made back in February. So we wanted to take some of the new cards that came out of the most recent Magic sets and update that deck tech, as Yuriko is showing an increase in popularity as it is a very fun commander to build. Yuriko the Tiger Shadow is 1 blue and a black for a legendary creature human ninja that has Commander Ninjutsu for blue and a black. Return an unblocked attacker you control to hand. Put this card onto the battlefield from your hand or the command zone, tapped and attacking. Whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to the card's converted mana cost. If you haven't had a chance to check out our original Yuriko deck tech, please take the time to check out that video, and the cards included in this video are upgrades to that deck tech. And we did include a new deck list down below in the show notes that you can check out our full deck list with the new cards included. The deck breakdown for our Yuriko deck is that we're going to play low CMC evasive creatures. These are going to be creatures that have a converted mana cost of 1 or 2 and that have flying or that they're unblockable. And these are going to be the creatures that are going to be doing the bulk of the attacking so that we're able to use our ninja's ninjutsu ability. And we are going to draw a bunch of cards with Yuriko's ability since we will be dealing damage with ninjas throughout the game. We have all the budget extra turn spells in our deck. Since our creatures have low power and toughness, they are not able to finish your opponent off quickly. It will take us some time to kill off our opponents, and we're eventually going to win with Yuriko's life drain triggers. Being able to flip the top card off of our library for every ninja that deals combat damage to our opponents and dealing damage equal to that spell's converted mana cost will win us the game. We did include a lot of spells that have a high converted mana cost, things such as split cards, delve cards, and other ways that we're able to cheat on the mana cost by casting our spells for a lower cost. Let's start out this deck tech with some of the new evasive, low converted mana cost threats in Yuriko. So first up we have Spectral Sailor. It's 1 blue for a flying creature pirate that has flash, and you can pay 3 and a blue to draw a card. This is a really great card to upgrade as it does give you the additional value of being able to draw cards throughout the course of the game, and drawing this later on in the game will give you that additional value as well. Then we have Changeling Outcast. It's 1 black for a creature shapeshifter with Changeling. This card is every creature type. Changeling Outcast can't block and can't be blocked. This is also really great because this card is a ninja, so it will trigger Yuriko's ability if it connects. And then we have Fairy Seer. 1 blue for a creature fairy wizard with flying. When Fairy Seer enters the battlefield, scry 2. There are several new ninjas in Modern Horizons, and we included 6 of them in this deck tech because I feel that these are the best ninjas that you can include in your deck and ones that are worth upgrading other creatures to. So first we have Throat Seeker. 2 and a black for a creature vampire ninja. Unblocked attacking ninjas you control have lifelink. This gives you a way to gain life when you need it in a deck that typically will not have a lot of blockers for combat damage. Since your creatures have low power and toughness, it's not worth blocking big threats that you may face. Next up we have Miss Syndicate Naga. 2 and a blue for a creature Naga ninja with Ninjutsu. You can pay 2 and a blue, return an unblocked attacker you control to hand, put this card onto the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. With Ninjutsu, it is important to note that this will get past the declare blocker step, so your opponent will not be able to block this creature if you do Ninjutsu it in. Whenever Miss Syndicate Naga deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Miss Syndicate Naga. This card can get out of control really quickly if your opponents don't have blockers for Miss Syndicate Naga or the tokens. You will get a lot of triggers off Yuriko and you can close out the game very quickly. Then we have Ingenious Infiltrator. 2 a blue and a black for a creature Vidalcan ninja. It has ninjutsu, blue and a black. Whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. This is just a really good way to get some incremental value over the course of the game, in addition to the value that you'll get off of Yuriko. Then we have Fallen Shinobi. 3 a blue and a black for a creature zombie ninja with ninjutsu, 2 a blue and a black. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top 2 cards of their library. Until end of turn, you may play those cards without paying their mana costs. This card is really great. Being able to play your opponent's spells off the top of their library can be extremely powerful. You could pull some really powerful cards off the top of your opponent's libraries. Then we have Azra Smokeshaper. 3 and a black for a creature Azra Ninja that has Ninjutsu, 1 and a black. When it enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. This isn't the most powerful ninja that you can include in this deck, but it does give you a way to be able to give a creature indestructible in a time where you may need it. And during declare blockers and combat damage, being able to give a creature indestructible to prevent it from dying will give you some additional value. Then we have Moonblade Shinobi. 3 and a blue for a creature human ninja with ninjutsu, 2 and a blue. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with flying. This is another way to generate some additional value and get you some more evasive threats on the battlefield, which you're able to use to ninjutsu in some more ninjas over the course of the game. The next card I want to talk about is Cunning Evasion, and it's out of Modern Horizons. It's 1 and a blue for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may return it to its owner's hand. This is a great way to protect some of your ninjas from getting killed through combat, and is a good way to be able to return them to your hand so you can keep using their ninjutsu ability. All you need to do is attack with your ninjas and let your opponents block, and then you're able to return them to your hand, so that way you're able to gain some additional value. The next 2 cards come out of War of the Spark, and I do feel like they are worth including in this Yuriko build. And the first one I want to talk about is Spark Double. It's 3 and a blue for a creature illusion. You may have Spark Double enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature or a planeswalker you control, except it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, counter on it if it's a creature. It enters with an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker, and it isn't legendary if that permanent is legendary. This is a great way to copy some of your ninjas, and more importantly, you can use this to copy your Yuriko to get double the triggers with your ninjas and with Yuriko's ability. Since you're able to copy legendary permanents and get around the legendary rule, this is a great card worth including. And then the next card that we include in this deck is Narset's Reversal. It's blue for an instant. Copy target instant or sorcery spell, then return it to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. This is a really great card for stealing your opponent's spells. Now it does return that spell back to the owner's hand, but being able to steal a spell in a key situation where your opponent could be winning the game is a really great card. And you can also use this on your own spells too. So you could use this to copy one of your extra turn spells, returning it back to your hand, and then you can recast that extra turn spell the next turn. So this card has a lot of versatility, and it is a great inclusion in most blue decks. The last card I want to talk about is a new one out of M20. It's Flood of Tears. It's 4 blue for a sorcery. Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. If you return 4 or more non-token permanents you control this way, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. Having mass bounce in this deck is really important, as not only does it help control the board and get a lot of pesky blockers off the board from your opponent's side, you are able to return your ninjas back to your hand. If you aren't able to get in combat damage with them, you can return them back to your hand, so that way you're able to use ninjutsu again. In addition, this does have the added upside of being able to put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield if you return 4 or more non-token permanents this way. I want to take a moment to thank my patrons for all of their continued support. I really do appreciate your support, and it helps me keep the lights on this channel. Thank you to all of you who have watched my video today. All the support and feedback that I've received on this channel has been really great, and I do appreciate everyone who watches, comments, likes, and subscribes to our channel. We'll see you on the next video.